Howdy y'all, welcome to Nerd Studio. We're out at the range today with a 10.5-inch AR pistol. Stay tuned. Alright, disclaimer incoming. I'm not a lawyer. If you get in trouble with your guns and you try and tell the government that you did it because Nerd Gone South said so, it's on you, buddy. So, with that out of the way, most of you probably already know this, but in case I have some folks who aren't familiar with the phenomenon, this is actually a pistol. I know. If the subject's old hat for you, I'm going to put a link in the video description below that lets you kind of skip the background info. But if you're scratching your head by my last statement, then hang with me and I'll try and do my best to explain it. I know this is more than mildly confusing. It still confuses me, and I've talked about this and studied it quite a bit, and I'm still scratching my head. So let me start off with the ATF's definition of a pistol, and this comes out of, I think, the Gun Control Act. So this is right off their website. You can go see it yourself. The term pistol means a weapon originally designed, made, and intended to fire a projectile, bullet, from one or more barrels when held in one hand and having a chamber, or chambers, as an integral part or parts of, or permanently aligned with the bore, and a short stock designed to be gripped by one hand at an angle to and extending below the line of the bore. So obviously pistol, stock is the grip, right? Okay, designed to be carried with one hand, and of course, you know, just because it's designed to be shot with one hand doesn't mean we can't put two hands on it and all that. All right. So because this was not built with a stock on it, it is designed to be fired with one hand. Okay, therefore it is a pistol. So now you're going to say, but it has a stock on it. Well, my friends, that may look like a stock, but that's not what it is. This is called a pistol brace, and it's made by SB Tactical. The AR design, let me grab this little guy here. The AR design has a spring, this guy here, running inside a tube, and a chunk of stuff. Typically it's metal. It's got sometimes some plastic on it. So I can get this one out of here. It's kind of stuck. That we call the buffer. So this thing is a buffer tube. And so if you look at, this is my AR-15 rifle, and you can see the buffer tube here on it. And so that spring in the buffer rocks back and forth inside this tube, which cuts down on recoil, helps the bolt go home, all that kind of good stuff. So with a pistol, I'm trying to clear the confusion, I promise. With a pistol, you still have to have that buffer tube. Now there are some other alternate designs out there that eliminate the need for this buffer tube, but stick with me on the standard AR design. There's this tube that hangs off, but you don't attach a stock to it, therefore it's a pistol. So a few years back, some dudes got together and decided, well, you know, we could attach some rubber on that tube, and that rubber could wrap around a shooter's arm for support, and the pistol brace was born. I think their original idea was to help disabled vets be able to shoot the guns when you know, wheelchair bound or they have disabilities that were making it hard. So it just so happens though the rubber ends up being in the shape of a stock. So you can see there's a Velcro strap here, and the idea is you spread this out and you slide your arm in it like that, and there you go. Now you're pistol braced, right? Which it works. It does help. It's a lot of weight to hold out at the end there, but you know, the idea is somewhat sound. All right, let me strap this guy back on here. So, now you're saying, dude, why would you want this pistol thing anyway? Well, that's a great point. So, have a look at the barrel. Oh, ducking down there. 10.5 inch, 16 inch. So that gives you a really short barrel. Now, and that is the whole point. On a rifle, and this is according to the ATF, if you have an overall length that is 26 inches, less than 26 inches, or the barrel is shorter than 16 inches, it is defined by the NFA, I think it's the Gun Control Act, as a short barrel rifle. And if you want one of those, you got to go fill out some more forms. You pay the government another $200. Wait about, 9 months, get fingerprinted, all of that good stuff. I think you have to send notification to the sheriff that you're doing this thing. And then you can take this and put a stock on it instead of this pistol buffer. Makes complete sense, right? Yeah, I know. All right, so the folks came up with this pistol brace, and they said, well, let's go ahead and let's send a letter off to the ATF, and we'll show them our design. And they probably sent them one and said, so what do you think? Can we put this thing on a pistol lower and use it? And the ATF said, yeah, that seems all right. Still designed to be held with one hand, and because it's designed to be held with one hand, you can have as short a barrel as you want on it, because after all, that's a pistol, right? Really short barrels. And everything was fine. Pistol braces for everyone. Well, then we got into this kerfuffle. A friend of mine loves that word. I think it's a great word. Kerfuffle, look it up. Start using it, everyone. At one point, the ATF seemed to say, if I touched this brace to my shoulder, I would be redesigning this pistol into a rifle because I touched it to my shoulder. Yeah, it's like taking a screwdriver or a wrench and using it as a hammer, and suddenly it becomes a hammer. Anyway, so they released this kind of opinion letter. I think people were sending emails and letters to the ATF going, can we touch it to our shoulder? Can we touch it to our shoulder? And finally the ATF said, no, if you touch it to your shoulder, you're redesigning it. And the letter was really hard to understand. You almost want to go to a lawyer and go, what does this mean? But the prevailing wind was, guys on YouTube, don't touch that thing to your shoulder and don't get seen doing it because the ATF may come and put the handcuffs on you and all that stuff. Yeah, okay. A couple weeks ago, might have been more than a month ago now, the ATF sent out another letter. And this one said, no, that's not what we meant. If you happen to touch it to your shoulder, not a problem. Still a pistol, not breaking any laws. I don't really know about all this controversy. Again, I'm not a lawyer. But I will say this. The one difference between the first letter where they said, no, that could be redesigning it, and the second letter where they said, no, it's fine, was the election. Just saying. So you can draw your own conclusions. All right, with all that behind us, for the time being at least, I decided after seeing the whole ATF coming out and saying, yeah, no, if it touches your shoulder, it's fine. I got to talking to the guys at Rock City Guns and Glenn Jefferson, who you see on the channel, Alex, and all the cronies. Can I call them cronies? I'm going to call them cronies. They're really my hardcore nerdites. Anyway, cronies. And talking about, how do I build something that honestly would be the easiest thing for my wife to use. Now, my wife's not a gun nut. She can shoot a pistol, she could shoot a rifle, but she doesn't enjoy it. And so, but we live in the country, and if I'm not home and somebody were breaking into the house, we're a long ways from help. Heck, you can live in town and you're a long ways from help. So I wanted something she'd feel comfortable grabbing and going to, and I thought, wow, I'm going to build one of these pistols. Because it's really a really short package. It's easy to maneuver around corners. It's lighter by quite a bit. Honestly, I didn't weigh them. I don't really have something appropriate to weigh all this with, but it is quite a bit lighter. I can even than my regular old fun gun, and I think she'd use it. Put a red dot on it, point the dot on the target, pull the trigger. Right? It's got lots of capacity. So I decided I'm going to build one of these pistols. All right, there we go. Let's let everybody else back in. So finally, let's talk about, hi, welcome back. Finally, let's talk about what I decided to build. I actually already had a lower from Anderson Arms, Anderson Manufacturing laying around. Anderson makes a great lower that can be had, I think I bought these in packs of 5 at $40 a piece or something. And I gave away some as gifts. They're really a great lower on a budget. Feels really well made, sturdy, all that good stuff. I think all my ARs are built on those Anderson lowers. Next thing I put in it was a lower parts kit from Palmetto State Armory. Excuse me, it's warm out today. Spring, it's like 90. Welcome to the South. So I put a lower parts kit from Palmetto State Armory. And then the pistol, or the buffer tube, and the spring and the buffer need to be specific to a pistol. And it's got, I don't know if you could see it here, but there's little ridges in it. I got that from Palmetto State Armory as well. For all of those kind of standard parts, Palmetto, it's hard to beat Palmetto's prices, and their quality is always great. Let's talk about the upper. So I didn't assemble the upper myself. I bought it whole. This one is made by Hardened Arms. I don't know if you can, where's there? Oh yeah, here you go. Hardened Arms. What am I doing? I'll get close-ups of this and lay it over the top. It has their 12-inch Talon Rail. This is a new product for them. It's an M-lock rail. It really feels great. The anodizing on their upper feels fantastic. It has their Citadel compensator. So I had planned to put the Noveski pig on it. I forget the model number of that thing. I'll find it and stick it over here. It's well known to be really appropriate for these short barrel pistols. And the idea behind these is they take the sound and the blast and send it away from the shooter. So they're conical. Instead of having ports that send blast like you would on a bird cage or a regular comp, sending it out to the side or up. This actually is a compensator by Hardened Arms. It sends all the blast downrange. And I really wanted that for my wife, and I'll get into a little bit more about that. We'll do some slow-mo of it. Anyway, I'd ordered the upper from Hardened Arms, and they had a great deal on one, $179. Had a quad rail on it, all that good stuff. It's kind of standard quad rail. And I goofed up putting my zip code in or something. The guy called me. I'm from Seattle, like Hardened Arms is in Bainbridge Island. I didn't realize it. Kind of cool. He called me and said, hey, I don't have the right zip code. Can you lay that on me? And he just got to ask him what was I building, what was I doing with it. You're going to build a pistol, all that good stuff. And we talked about the pistol brace thing. Cool guy. And he said, we're running a deal on this rail. This is a brand new product for them. It's normally $189 for the rail, but if I'll upgrade my upper, they do it for $89. And then I think he knocked $20 or something off of their equivalent to the pig, which is their Citadel comp. I was not disappointed. We'll get to it, but man, I love it. Works great and saves you a few bucks. The Hardened Arms stuff, if you want quality without breaking the bank. Anyway, for the optic, boy, I keep picking up this gun. For the optic, I went with a Primary Arms Advanced Microdot. One of my build requirements here, this thing had to be simple to pick up, put a mag in, send the bolt home, and start shooting it. I really need my wife to feel comfortable using this, and if you've got a bunch of knobs and things to twist to get ready to shoot, that's more that she has to practice for. This optic, which again doesn't break the bank, about $170, has a 50,000 hour battery life on it, which means I can just leave the thing on all the time. So the dot's running. You pick it up, boom, you got the dot, put it on target, slap the bolt home, pull the trigger, and you're ready to go. What I've done, I've just created a calendar event on my phone every year, January 1st. It uses a CR 2232 battery, whatever it is. I'll just pop that thing out and replace it. Never get anywhere near the max battery life. Those batteries are, 30 cents or 50 cents or whatever it is. So not going to break the bank, and I don't have to worry about her having to twist knobs or push buttons if she needs to get going. You think about it, she's going to be adrenaline dumping like crazy. So the less she has to learn to employ the weapon, the better. From here, I got all the parts. I assembled the basic pistol and took it down to Rock City Guns, and Alex and I got to tinkering. Next up, we put a Streamlight Protac 350 Lumen flashlight on it. Get the power on there. The rail takes M-LOK. It's an M-LOK design, so you can do M-LOK attachments. So we got a Magpul rail to stick on there, so I could mount the switch for the flashlight. Yeah, it's cool. You've got, let's see if we can get the camera to, oh yeah, there you go. So you've got always on, you hit it and you're ready to go. You got momentary on, so you can just press on the switch here and you get momentary on. And then, yeehaw, you've got the strobe. So the idea is you're working the room. You don't want it always on because that tells people where you are, right? So you get your target in your sight and light him up. That strobe is designed to confuse an assailant, which is pretty darn cool. All right, then we grabbed the Primary Arms 1/3 co-witness riser here. They had that in stock. A set of Magpul backup sights. So that allows a 1/3 co-witness between the red dot and the manual sights. We're going to leave those down. This red dot is rugged, water resistant. I don't think you can call anything waterproof these days. Amazing buy for $170. That was it. We took it out that day, did some test shooting after Alex got off of work, and nothing left to do really but shoot it for you. Let's do it. I'm crazy impressed with these products from Hardened Arms. This is the first upper I've had of theirs. I've had a couple other comps. They work terrifically. This upper just, I mean, it looks great. It feels great. The anodizing's pretty amazing. And I'm digging the rail. It's really lightweight, but it feels good and sturdy. M-LOK is what I wanted. It's the whole package, and at a price, frankly, folks, I couldn't find anything to beat it. So you get quality, and some of it doesn't break the bank. That's amazing. This flash hider, the Citadel, it does exactly what I wanted. It's throwing the blast and the noise away from the shooter. I got a buddy of mine that really digs these pistols. He's got a couple of that are 7.5-inch barrels, and he calls them loudmouth flamethrowers. And so I really, you know, if I want my wife to get out and really, you know, get proficient with it, at least, you know, get comfortable enough with the rifle, I'm sorry, the pistol, that she would use it in the house. If it's blowing through her hearing protection when she shoots it, or, you know, it's jumping all over, she's going to be less apt to use it and less apt to try it occasionally. And, you know, practice is key. You know, this is a really simple thing to operate, put the dot on the target and go, but I don't want her to be afraid of it and have that be, you know, the first thing that comes to her mind, because you got to use it in the house. You're going to do it without hearing protection. So the fact that it throws that noise in the flash at the target is fantastic. Plus, it's liable to scare the crap out of the guy breaking into the house, which is even better. You know, the Hardcore Nerdites on Patreon, if you haven't thought about doing that, come up and join us on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. You get behind the scenes stuff. They watched me drool as every part arrived. I took a picture and went, oh, I got this, I got that. If you're into that kind of thing, want to see what goes on behind the channel, you want to get into some, you know, more conversation, Patreon's a great way to do it. And it helps keep me making videos. So anyway, the Hardcore Nerdites there got to watch me sort of drool as I put this thing together, and it was worth the wait. Man, it's a lot of fun to shoot, and I think it is really the perfect home defense gun, at least for me and my family. You know, one of the things that an AR beats over, you know, your sidearm, well, several things, a capacity. You get a 30-round magazine. I mean, you can get 40-round magazines that 100-round drums, whatever you need to do. But with a single magazine, 30 rounds, you don't, I mean, something you can shoulder and balance is much easier to shoot than a pistol. It takes a lot less practice to shoot it. And frankly, it's a lot less to think about if you're having a home break-in. I'll probably do a couple of follow-up videos just on some of the parts I put on this gun. The flashlight, I think, has some interesting programmable features and stuff that I wasn't going to get into here, but probably deserves its own video. And then again on the primary arms optic, 50,000 hours of battery life and why, and you know, the glass and what kind of rating it has for water resistance, all that good stuff. But this first video, I think, is a good kind of overview on my first foray into AR pistol land. Gun's fun. All right, folks, always remember, anyone can shoot and have fun. We'll see you next time.